think the microphone's coming up to time. It wasn't a moment ago because it wasn't. Well, it was plugged in, but it wasn't a USB hub that wasn't working. There we go. So we are back. Okay, there is my boom mic. And the most beaten up boom mic stand you can imagine. So, yeah, we're on the USB audio. There's one using it. It does 96 kilobits per second at 24-bit, which is, I think, as good as this hi-fi from 2002 can likely take. I don't imagine that doing more. Like that can actually, that's not really holding it, so that looks better. So I'm going to have this actually holding the fan. That makes sense. But just having the hand not holding it and it's just somehow floating there. Small details, but it makes sense. So that'll do. There's one of those small things that makes actually quite a large difference. Yeah, having a microphone not even plugged in, that's kind of embarrassing. Move that box. Yay, I have the two flip phones together. The two Android flip phones. Somehow, both of them have ended up here together. The Samsung's better looking, but it doesn't have a headphone jack. Therefore, the LG is better. Yeah, the Samsung is in most ways nice, but not having a headphone jack, it does hit it, I think, in terms of usability. I don't know about this shit. Yeah, that's something for tomorrow, guys. You can worry about. That ear doesn't quite look correct. The ears can be corrected later, though. It's just one of those things. I don't need to worry about it too much now. It's kind of awkward, the whole thing, but it's fine. The curve frame too. I can actually lock through. Just lock everything. Because for now, I don't want to accidentally mess with something. So one is good with the hair. 2 is good for the most part, but I might want to soften that out actually. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's a good one. You see, I can't seem to control my own software here. There we go. So I can actually also make this not transparent. One thing I'm seeing though, but I want to, because one thing I want to do is I want this to be just smooth angles, so I don't want it to be sharp. I quite like the idea that the whole thing is just like a very soft hairstyle around here. You can have sharp on some characters and it works, but this is not the character for it to work. I'm not so sure I like this. So if we go FF1, that's lower. That hair is lower, and I think that's how it should be. Then yeah, FF2 is a lot higher up. Yeah, I'm seeing this. Okay, it's not visible. I can't see it, it's not visible. So we've got SF1, SF2 fine. So SF, it seems like the haircut gradually got taller. So we've got delete control point. Ag. It's better. I need to lower that. Yeah. I mean, immediately I can see just how much I've been messing this up now. So we've got, yeah, that, and that's why I added the right click, because one tap on the key dial, I don't have to move to a mouse or anything. Ultimately, this pen is the mouse, it just doesn't have the right click so easily. So I can probably reconfigure it to a speed, but it's actually easier to use a key dial. wait. Something's wrong with the stream avatars. It's not filling the display. It's like 4 pixels off. There, I fixed it. The window is just not quite using 4 pixels. It's probably not noticeable, but it was irritating me just seeing that. So we've got this. Next week I'll probably be doing a stream avatars thing. I mean, I don't know, no one else seems to be doing that. So it's something unique. I should really put these in an animation when I've got all the frames done in some sense of the term. See how it just flows. Like, I think it's pretty good as it is. But just to make the final alignments, just to make sure the size of everything aligns. That can stay for now, I think. No, it can't stay for now. I'm not going to be happy with that. That'll do. That's a little better. Then here, I could probably just round that somewhat. So we can go delete. Ah, not delete. We go the control point is there on the right click. My head just can't get used to this so easily. I mean, one day I probably will. I'm at least using the key dial and keeping my hand off the mouse, which will improve my efficiency. That's not so sure that's what I want. So we go split line. There we go. There we go. Slot machine cleaning staff hate me. I'm gonna put a pen. Problems. Now, if I was incompetent, which I am, where would I put a pen? It's right here. It's in front of a keyboard. There we go. I'm still not too happy with it. It's supposed to be an animation, like, all flying by so quickly and still I'm messing up. Okay, so SF2, that can be locked. SF1 file can also be locked. SF wise, it seems decent. Okay. This is one where I look to have done it in a single stream couple of times. I wonder, can I select multiple points? This might work. So I select just these points at the top and drag them down. Okay, this is working. Maybe I could see. I'm gonna have to use the mouse for this because I just can't really see under the pen very well. I feel like the hair goes too high up. I can correct that later though, because I'm not so sure it's exactly consistent. So I kind of want this to go just over the top of the eyes. So this should work. I'm not going to go all really over the top trying to correct this. I'm just going to try and do what I can. There we are. I don't know, I've not been watching, but apparently I didn't win anything by putting a banana in the slot machine. Time to put something else in, I think. Ooh, what's this? Let's put a taco in the slot machine. I mean, why not? Going to hit save while I'm at it. There, these shoulder pads are actually pretty over the top, but I just never seem to know exactly how large to make them. So there was one I wanted to do. With the microphone being funny, I don't know, I'm probably like under 20 minutes into the stream of like good microphoniness, but still. Oh, I won one coin by what's it? I won one coin by putting a taco in the slot machine. At this point, I feel like whenever I put this stuff in, it literally just breaks the slot machine, and that's why money comes out. Not because I'm winning, but just because it can't function properly. And like a coin happens to just fall out. Well, I said one gold. No, that's one guy coin. That's it. I do want to do something with my PC parts. There we go. Can just barely reach it. This is a part of the system. This is like 3 SSDs stacked together. I used to game on this like 2020-ish. And I want to pull this stuff together again. Put the detail on it. So i7-4790, so it's actually still not that bad. Obviously it's an older chip, but I really do want to get back to just playing around with that machine. I do quite enjoy it. And I've put the copper heat pipe cooler on as well, which is an OEM part. A pretty rare part for those systems, but it has got the OEM heatsink. The what is it? The actual heatsink says it's from. It says on the fan 2013, but the CPU is from 2014. So unless that machine has been updated at a later date, which I highly doubt, it's been lying to me, or just using an older heatsink. I don't know. The copper cord heatsink came out a similar machine, but an older one with a Core i5. I think. Well, okay, that was odd because that machine was like a Windows Vista machine, but it came out, I believe, during the Windows 7 era. So why would they still be putting Vista on it? As far as I can recall, like 7 has always just been better than Vista. I don't hate Vista, but 7 just improved Vista. It took the core fundamentals of Vista and it just made them slightly better in every single way. By the time Vista Service Pack 2 came out though, it's not as bad as everyone likes to say. The early versions, pre-Service Pack 2 I would say, were definitely not that great, but they did fix Vista. So Vista was never as bad after the first few years. First year or two maybe. I feel like maybe they were just getting rushed because XP was 5 years old at that point and didn't want a new Windows. Microsoft wanted to do something impressive, but the world was just not ready for an operating system that complicated. And there's me getting obsessed about Windows Vista. Part of me still feels like he's stuck in the Windows Vista era. I will acknowledge Windows 7 was very good though. That was 2009, Vista was 2006. In many ways 7 just feels like what Vista was meant to be. But Vista, as I say, it seemed like they were rushing to get it out. So by the time they fixed Vista and got rid of the worst of its problems, the damage had already been done. Reputational damage had already been done. Yes, I remembered the cave. I feel like if that needs to go there. This just doesn't quite look as I'm wanting it. This see, this is overlapping the belt from here, but the lower part will be deleted because that's not an important part of the design. So no one will see it on the final piece. I think I can round this up at the top of it. Like the lower part is being pushed in, so it needs some kind of physics there, but I mean, at this point, I've taken this so far, I kind of want to add in-betweens. I'm only on frame 6 of 12, though, because there's 12 frames in total. I think it's 12. Move that up just a little. Wait, I've got a stick of DDR2 RAM just sitting here. It's, I think it's 1333. It says 10600U. I don't know. Ah, there it is. 1333, I can see it. I don't know if they'll focus on that. That's what I got. It is, Elixir. I've never heard of that RAM company before I got this, and this is from 2010, so I don't know, maybe the company sunk after 2010. It's actually one of the very latest 775 socket boards, which had the Pentium in. Few Pentiums on Celeron were made in 2010, or released in 2010 for the 775 socket. They were the very latest in socket first used in 2004. It was a, I believe, E6600, and I think it was the E8600 Pentium. They have 2 megabytes of cache, which isn't that impressive, but some earlier Core 2 Duos had that, so you know, the passage of time helping them and all that. I have a Celeron somewhere, and that's got half a megabyte of cache, which is pretty pitiful, really. I mean, it's kind of like Pentium 3 levels. Mind you, again, as I say, with the passage of time, that is still vastly more powerful than some of the other chips out there. So, wait, it's 99%. I think CPU utilization went to 99% for a moment, and then it just jumped back down. I don't see that typically. I mean, I'm sure it does go to 100% when I'm doing like pre-CV packs and stuff, but I usually miss it when it does. The GPU gets pretty hot. GPU was 100, was it? I thought I was looking at the CPU. I don't even know my own telemetry software. I feel like, yeah, so that's just going to join now. That's the best I can do right now. I'll have to correct that later. I just quite enjoy this actually, just going through all the little things that I couldn't correct before. You know, making it work. Okay, so here we have the same thing, basically, only it's got no transparency. I do that sometimes to get the idea of how large things should be. I do need to stop this Steam notifications popping up. So we've got this. Ah! Now I'm noticing stuff. You see, I didn't really get a chance to fix these things. I would say rotated. I think that will rotate the whole thing. Yeah. There we go. Wait, I can bring up stream avatars on the top. Think about it again, just moving the odd point here can actually make a big difference to just the overall curve of the thing. There we go. The eyes actually are really low. I think that's just part of the style that was originally on this. I would typically have the eyes larger and going up taller. Because I guess there's somewhat resemblance to the, what's it, reality there, like how I do my eyes. The top point is like about there, and then it just go down. So, you know, the top point of the eyes, even though it might appear lower, the top point is actually very similar to where it is on the photos often used as reference. I mean, there are 3D models, but I don't like using them when I can just do whatever pose I want and angle the camera however I want. Works for me. Actually, I have used this very camera here for referencing. Wait, almost an hour in, wow. See, I may be obsessive about this. I probably won't go so far on the shading, but it looks good for what it is, I think. I hate complimenting my own work, but I feel like what I've done here, I've made it very sharp. And I mean, the point is to make this look better than the original. And if I can win it at 32k, that should be pretty future-proof as well. Which I believe this is the resolution of 32k. It's also set up to a 16 width by 9 tall canvas, whereas the original was 4 by 3. Actually, I've got my calculator, so because I'm too lazy to do all the mental maths. So we have 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay. So we've got 3 times 4. Okay, so it's like the original was the equivalent to 16 wide by 12 tall for comparison. And basically I've had to crop it down to 16 by 9 tall. So there's like less width on the overall canvas, but if you see what I'm doing here, the actual core of the animation stays the same size for the width of the canvas. It just doesn't have the height, which is honestly unnecessary. There is that one later frame where this fan was like going way up here somewhere. But if I lower the thing slightly like that, then it will all be fine. And I can do that on all layers. I don't know exactly how. That's something for me to work out, future me to work out. So, what else
4,
have I got?
3, 2, 1.
I feel like this should go out a little longer. That being the case, actually, would mean that this is just not necessary there, which I'm fine with. Yeah, all these extra lines, I will likely just delete them all, to be honest. I like keep these things aside on the off chance I need them. Before I go into the colouring process, I can do that. I can just delete anything I'm not using. These, I did actually delete some of these before, then it turned out a redesign the thing that actually needed the space. I think it might have been on that side of the stage range. So, SF4. That's what we need to be on. So I'm getting there now. With the hairline, SF4 can be locked. SF5 final. That can be unlocked. And I can edit this. If I make it visible. Again, we can untransparentsize it. Yeah, this is where this line was completely messy. But alas, I can fix it now. I can save this. I mean, as I did before, the best way is probably to just lower this. The one on that right hand side is actually okay. Yeah, I need to redo his eyes. I think I actually do just need more vector points here. just want to leave this, but I can't just be cutting the corner that much. Perhaps I want it because there's not going to be many sharp corners here. So that can just go right down there. That, I don't know, but I'll probably have to come back to this. I don't like leaving things imperfect and undone there. Somehow I feel this was actually done with 3D models originally. I know it was 2008 though. 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. The camera's charged. It was on almost 0% stream. And it charged because I just had the thing unplugged, so I thought, well, it was plugged into a USB hub, but it didn't even work. Same with the microphone. I'll have to stop using that USB hub, at least in this context, because it just isn't doing anything. So we've got to go split line. So we've got this is kind of a I wanted to get to SF5 here and actually fix some of the line art. That was one thing I wanted to do this stream that I had to do, because I think it should actually be quite an interesting quite an interesting evolution to see this getting cleaned up. So the other thing we've got to do is what I'm doing now, because there's two layers here. There's the one that goes over the back and the one that goes over the front. You wouldn't usually see the back one, but as this is being pushed by the arm, yeah, you see the one at the back. There's going to be the hair over a lot of this, so I'll probably have to go into detail as much there. Now SF5, I'm going to need the non-final one. That's going to allow me to see like vaguely where this stuff falls. So going, not this management. So we've got to do this. Yeah, there's a hair at the back, and I mean that might make sense now. I'm not sure that's how I want it to look though. Yeah. I did a lot this skirt, just make it look correct, because I want a certain like flow to it, so it looks really good when you see the motion and the animation. It's just one of those things, it's not something you have to add, but I do think it'll make a difference, and quite a visible difference actually. Especially if I add in-betweens, and then it's going to look really smooth at like 24 FPS or something. I highly doubt I'll go beyond 24 FPS, because that is already extremely smooth for any animation. There we go. America, save. Got a big save key on the key dial. I'm not sure, can you see that? I think you can somewhat see. So if my hand is just off the screen there, that basically means I'm using this little scroll wheel thing there. Like that's basically if I'm zooming and you can't quite see it on the screen, and be pressing the little rolling it. There is a click thing in the middle which I'm not using for anything. I'll have to have a look at that. That might actually be a good thing to have for the left click if I want. So yeah, I'm looking away from the camera. The left click will be quite interesting to have there, and I can definitely see it being made to work. I'm just going to move this keyboard cable a little because it's on top of a key dial and it's like pushing it up. So we've got this is actually, so because these are kind of petal shaped things, which is intentional, that was no accident, but because these are like petal shapes, that's gonna have to curve round like this, I think, to look natural. Now you're not going to see this whole thing, but it will probably give the top a little bit of a more natural look if I curve it in such a way as if it's going somewhere. And it's not a hard thing to do, it just means when I cut it, you know, I'll get the kind of idea I'm going for. Yeah, now I'm confused with where I'm going to take this. Do you see it? Do you not? Like, I didn't design this thing that in depth. I should have, but I didn't. So it's basically up to me to just finish the design that my past self started. I didn't actually think about the boots too much. It's just they were something that I had an idea in my head, and then when I put them on the character, they just worked. I mean, I could have changed them more, but they actually do work with the entire design of the thing. The soles are green, so that's why I have to kind of separate them out. It's just a part of the design that they are green there. The fluff is white, and then that's pink. So it's, the whole colour scheme is basically three, perhaps more notable colours of cherry blossom, which is there's green petals, there's pink petals, and there's white petals. That's why this is white as well. It breaks up the green and pink quite nicely, but it's also a relevant colour to the design. I do have another character which I'll probably work on after this on the stream. He is a lot easier to draw. Sakura, like, it seems I've designed her to be as difficult as possible. As with a lot of my characters, Norman is actually not hard at all. Because this whole thing is that he knows how to like blend into the norm, and the others don't. But yeah, the whole thing that is he knows how to act this part and not stand out at all. It means his outfit is just not that complicated. Maybe it's an excuse, so I actually have a character that's easy enough to draw, but still. I mean, it's my world. I decide what goes and what doesn't. I mean, Toko looks pretty good as well, but he's the opposite of Norman. He is a really complicated male character, because yes, I found a way to make a male character hard to draw. And of course I'm going to do that. I don't know how long this playlist plays for. I mean, it might only be one song left for all I know. I'll probably stick Ace Attorney music on or something, because then this is finished. I mean, I feel like this looks fairly good, but this just looks off to me. Like, it may only be a case of just moving the couple of vector points, but that looks so much better. Anyway, as I say, so we've got SF5, which is the based off of. So we have that. I feel like, I don't know, because if that goes behind the body, which it really should. Now, we do have an idea where the arm falls. So the arm falls there. I just didn't line this up at all. But the arm is falling here. So we're probably, at least in theory, going to have to line that up. Like, somewhat like this. So there we go. I think I'll have to add some more texture to this so it actually kind of makes sense why it's this shape. But yeah, it's like the material is being pushed by the arm. So, this will have to do for now, I think. If I go... Let's use the eraser. I think I've got the vector eraser on. Indeed. I must have erased the wrong thing. Ah, that's what's going on then. Okay, so what we have here, I can just extend that out actually, and then we'll go split line. I zoomed in on somewhere I probably shouldn't have. I think I deleted the whole thing, which I did not want to do. But I have corrected my mistake somewhat. I think I might have just realised how dumb I'm being. I do actually want to trim that. Am I... So... I'm just getting really confused by these lines. Okay, I think I see where I'm going wrong, actually. So we've got this. I've not actually questioned this line like I probably should have. So if we have this, maybe move a little more inwards, because that's basically the back of the character. And the backs are very rarely completely straight on any character. I mean, the styles you can make it work, it's not this style. We're not in its complete nature, but there we go. So I think I can see what's going on here now. I basically followed that exactly, and I probably shouldn't have followed that exactly. So there we go. So we factor in this being like the... I don't know if I say back, kind of. This is going to be tied into the... There's my anti-burning thing, making the OLED move. Okay, so we've got this. Oh dear. I think what I need to do, I think, is just change this a little. So I'm gonna split line here. I mean, I can actually try and just treat that so it works. Is that the whole playlist done? I think it might be. No, it isn't. So there's at least one more. Okay, so the hair is definitely going to fall over this. That's what we have to remember. Anyway, this makes a little more sense, the way the arm goes out like that. There we go. I don't know if that arm shape is okay, but it's better than nothing. So, does that line up? The belt lines up enough. It looks like the hair's going to cover a lot of this up, so I can delete this much because I don't imagine I'll have to bring that back. So there we go. I mean, as I say, I'll probably be erasing all this at the top, so I don't want to go too far in detail there, but the lower part here I can try and treat. That arm is going to go in front of it as well. You just won't see a whole lot of this. I just have to have it look enough like realistic for what it is. Am I getting frame drops? Apparently I am getting frame drops. Yeah, so output. Okay, I'm losing 100 kilobits per second because that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully this is working. It looks okay on the preview on YouTube. Viewers will experience buffering, whatever that means. Probably means it's going to get more delay. I don't know. Like, it seems to be working out. Yeah, excellent connection. I think it's just because I made the bitrate ever so slightly lower. I do not like doing this, but if it won't run otherwise decently, then... I did have some drop frames. I didn't pay any attention to when that was. Yeah, hopefully it was just a few frames of, like, what to call it, and then it recovered. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this hair. They maybe wanted to flick up the other way. So we've got SF6 as well here. We actually have a similar thing going on. So again, SF6. So maybe if I tweak this, maybe that goes in a little more. Maybe that'll work better. So that's a way of having things done. Yeah, again, like, how does this work? I do not know. I mean, maybe I should have that bend, because it's such a harsh angle of the arm. And where is SF5? Yeah, the hair is fixed. I didn't fix it on SF6, so... But this makes sense. I believe it was actually the whole reason I went back and tried to fix it, because I just saw this and I'm like, that looks so badly off. Yeah, the eyes are not even tried copying it, at least properly. One thing I'm noticing, the hair in this, I've just gone too far out. How I went that far off. I get it, it's not perfect, but the whole reason I did this, it was a template based on the original thing, which is kind of tracing, kind of just improvising, because the character designs are so different. The point of that was that this is going to be the big animation thing, but I've got a template now to work with. So that should be better now. I mean, as I say, like, there's obviously a weird dip there because I was just throwing this together and in 480p. The other thing, that was the other thing though. The original was about 480p and quite a low bit rate as well at 480p, so you couldn't see all the fine details. The first layer, it was a vector, so even with this stuff being unclear, it gives me a thing to just resize, because vectors are like just instructions, they're not a set resolution. So I could resize it, and it would work quite well. More drop frames. Yeah, it's got a lot more drop frames. I don't know what's going on with this. Hopefully this has fixed it. I do not want to drop below 3 megabits per second, because that's the minimum YouTube wants. Still issues. Dropping a lot of frames. Okay, let's just hope this works. It's dropping frames. Oh dear. Right, it's gonna look awful, but if I go to 2500, it should at least work. I really hate doing this though, because I think it's just the bandwidth not working at all for me. At least I'm hoping this works with minimal drop frames. It's been dropping them really badly today, though. It wasn't like this last week. It may have had some frame drops, but it was nowhere near as bad as it is now. Even when I started streaming earlier, it just wasn't doing this. It was running fine at 3300, I think. And now I have to go to 2500, which, as you can figure, it's a much slower bit rate. So we've got this. That's SF7. So we've got SF7 final. I do need to move the eyes. That's something I'll do, probably not in this stream. got like half an hour to fix the whole thing. So we've got this is odd. These points just scare me at this point. How? How does this even happen? Okay, I'm gonna have to do some serious vector correcting just because that should not look like that. How it became that way, I really do not know. So that looks okay now, until you look closely and then you have like this. I feel like I've unlocked a new fear. No, I always did fear vector points. This is just beyond it. But yeah, I am terrified of this. It obviously shouldn't be this scary, but I just see all these points and I'm like, oh no, now I'm gonna have to process all of that. Again, like, how? How did I? Yeah, there we go. It did move once, and I didn't want that. So we've got delete control point. The key dial just made this easy, and I don't know what I did. I did something to it that I didn't want there. I could see at the top of the display, it just didn't look good. And that deleted more than I wanted to delete. I am slightly less terrified now. I don't know. It's not a positive memory. Because I've got a fear now I did not know I had. Oh no. You see, that's not that bad, but the memories hurt me perhaps even more than the vectors do. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to convert a few of these because the sharp angles, that's basically what it calls a corner in vector terms, but I don't really want a corner. I want it to be more gentle in terms of curvature. And I don't want to just delete it, I want to use that point. Switch corner, so that switches it to like a not corner. I would like to say my fear is being fixed. It is not. I am eternally terrified of that. I do believe I've unlocked a new fear. Live on screen. So we need to, again, so many corners to switch from being corners. Sakura would be the right side. Let's see if Sakura likes my drawing. It'd be funny actually if it said it hates it. So it's funny, because particularly if you look at like all these chatbot things, they always have to like try and act all nice to you. So it's even funnier when one of these computer things tells you how horrible your work is. Isn't it working? I did change that. That's very odd. I'll try it without a capital. I mean, I have all the law configured, so I feel like I should use it. I didn't ask a question mark there, but it should still work. I did type it correctly. I can try and change the smile. I'd say so. Oh, yeah. So, even though I specifically entered the command with a capital, entering it with a capital now doesn't work. You have to use a lowercase s. Okay. At least the command is working. Stream advertising just sometimes does these confusing stuff that makes no sense to me. Still love it though. There we go. I do have an armrest there. I didn't realise I had an armrest there. I believe some of the fancier Aeron chairs had adjustable armrests. Mine is not one of the fancier Aeron chairs. But I have had it for 800 years and it hasn't failed me yet. For the most part. Okay, this makes enough sense. What was it, 7? So was it 6 where it didn't make sense? Yeah, that's where the arm goes across. I'm going to have to try and work that out because I really don't understand how I'm going to go about that. I feel like I'm going to have to actually think this is 6. Okay. I have an idea. I do feel like so that's not going to go out the top of the dress. I feel like it needs to go around like here, which it is actually doing. It's been done. Yeah, it's there. The detail is there. So anyway, I haven't quite done it properly because it doesn't fold in. I had this issue actually with the other part. It didn't look quite like it was folding in correctly for what it's supposed to look like. So that's a thing now. I mean, that's not perfect, but you get the idea where it's going. So, okay. I believe I know what this is. We've got SF75. We can unlock that. Why not just lock SF7? I mean, that's been causing some minor issues. So, got about 20 minutes of work to do on this. So I can try and grab that. Okay, so what we've got here is the belt thing is the important part. Like, I want that to fall into place, and I might actually have something here. So if I go and move that, so I've got to go select. Yeah, okay. I need to deselect it anyway somehow. I mean, I can combine these layers. I just smashed the keyboard for that because it's not going to be named for long anyway. I think I did that with the layer below as well because at this point, just do it. So we've got that SF6 final. So this can be made more transparent, I think. Well, that's SF6. That's my SF6 final. So we'll try and go 25, which is a quarter opacity. I do not need SF6, actually, I just need a final one to work with. I believe it's stopped dropping frames now, although I've had to completely destroy the bitway to do that. It's still giving me an error on YouTube, but OBS says it's not dropping frames. Again, I'm gonna do my old thing with just that, which you know, I like that. Control C, Control V, copying vector layers as well is a joy compared to trying to do it with all the layers. So we can also use SF7 here. Move that up. This will look confusing, but for me it works, just having all these layers, because that gives me an idea where everything should fall. So I feel like this, if I do it correctly, we have to remember we're going down like that. So if we see that's the previous layer here, I'm pointing on there, you can't see. But anyway, the previous layer is like here. We need to drag it down because the whole body just appears to move down somewhat. Like, not totally, but you get the idea. The majority of the body, it just moves down. Ah, okay, I'm just seeing something here. Okay, so that's something. I'm not going to pretend this is like magically perfect and that, but hopefully you can see the process. I've got to just make this work. And I believe that playlist is done. I don't know, I've not got long enough to keep playing music, so I'll just finish off here, I think, with the music, and then I'll just keep working on the rest of this. So the whole thing I feel like I'm seeing is that it needs to go this way. So that is a thing. One, two, three. I'm trying to count them because I need like a level of continuity. It doesn't say. Yeah, okay. It's saying the stream's bitrate is low and it's going to look terrible. I get that. At least it seems to not be dropping frames anymore. That is something. Anyway. There we go. That shoe does not look quite right. Okay, so that is there. I'm not sure about how this is falling. Like, it does have to drop more than that, but actually with how that is, I'm getting a feeling for something that it maybe shouldn't fall in quite the same way, and I don't know how I'm going to get it to shift around, but I feel the way this is falling, it should just fall slightly differently. So it's going to go round here, kind of like normal, and then we're going to go round there a bit more. That's just something that I'm thinking. Because of just the motion, I feel that's going to work better. Just because of the downwards motion and everything. I can't say for certain this is going to work, but I think it will. Gonna want to somewhat correspond it with there. This doesn't have to correspond exactly, but as I say, the template is the template. I made it so I have something to work with, and I'm not just throwing frames together without knowing anything about what I'm doing. Yeah, so I've got about 10 minutes, and then it'll be 2 hours. There we go. So, I think I'm onto something with this, but I just don't know if it's going to work. The best I can do to try and level this up is... that goes round like that. And then this will make sense, hopefully. So we've got that. So I'm also seeing that kind of similar flow is going on here. Just in terms of like where everything sits. So if I can maneuver this down here, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a pain to sort out. When isn't it? That's why I think I'll do in-betweens, because everything else, it's like kind of such a pain, but just in-betweening this, I'm not going to be adding that much. And if I can get a solid 24 FPS compared to 12 or whatever it's running at now, on these current frames, it's going to look really smooth, because 24 FPS being the point at which the human eye differentiates motion from a still image sequence from what I have seen. That is a very important number. So, again, just try and get this to fall into place and not grab there, grab somewhere where it's more likely to do its job. So again, we have this. I feel like this is actually hopefully going to straighten out as time goes on, if that makes sense. So then it can fall to the other side and it will make sense. I do always seem to be changing this, though, to actually get it to look correct. Because if I don't keep changing it, it just doesn't look correct. It looks off. I mean, I don't even know how wide I need to make these parts, particularly. I'm just guessing at this point. I should have enough going on, though, to make it work with some adjustments. I mean, I've done it so many times now, I'm actually getting the hang of how to maneuver the whole parts together. There we go. So we've got that. I mean, I don't know how this is all going to join at the end. We're on frame 7, though, so we're more than halfway through with the, like, at least the fundamentals, let's say, of how this is falling together. So as I say, this is going to straighten out a little, and I'm doing it gradually, bit by bit. So we go from we'll go from a curve that's like that, and then it will gradually become more of a straight line if everything goes as planned. Can move that there. So it's already pretty close to a straight line, though, just looking at where this has fallen. And that's exactly how I want it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Actually, from what I'm seeing here, I can probably just slightly tilt that. And it'll be, yeah. It's just, it was almost right. It just needed tilting. So, whatever we've got here. You know what? I think I'm just going to copy and paste these. Control C, Control V, do a bit of pivoting that, and yeah, so I think again it's tricky to get this to look correct in terms of the whole distancing thing. There we go. Tilt that again, just tilt this a tiny amount, maneuver that way, and you see it maybe doesn't seem like much on the surface of it. See, small adjustments that make it work. I think I'll just finish off with doing this one maybe. As I believe I said earlier, I'll probably be doing some stream avatars making stream next week, because that is something that I need to work on. And I should have the basis done by then. If all goes well, that should give me something to work with. Because I have a way of doing it which kind of breaks pixel art rules, but somehow still works. Because I say you're supposed to do pixel art in a certain way. I completely disobeyed those instructions. I used the airbrush anyway, and what I got, I think, turned out okay. But yeah, I do have some ideas with stream avatars, because the Sakura one I've got is okay for a start, but I do want higher detail things, and to an extent higher resolution. So 200 by 200 pixels, which is about as high as I could happily push that resolution without it getting too large for what the stream avatars actually are. So according to this, yeah, 57, 157, yeah, I can't read. So we'll go like this. Okay, I think maybe move that a little. We are getting somewhere with this. And again, I'll finish off Control C, Control V. I like my copy and paste feature. I even have keys specifically for copy and paste. And there we go. So I think if I actually just change this up a part, I'll still get that. As I say, it's supposed to get kind of more like a straight line as we go along. Hopefully I can show this. This will definitely be the last one I do of this section. And then I can just do it on the lappy. So I do like that laptop. It's got some nice features. And it gives me a chance to work on this later in the day when I'm not at my full desktop. As much as I like this full desktop, it's not always feasible to do all my art on this desktop. I mean, if I'm using my world famous 80,000 and 85 pixel resolution, then sure, but it's not always feasible. And that I would call it a day at today. So yeah, well, it's not quite 2 hours. But yes, if I keep going, I can keep going. But I need food. So yeah, let's just patch a few of these ends up. So, not sure what the noise is.